Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Miss Mulyani, and good afternoon, my friends. So today I'm going to present about the learning words. Before that, I want to introduce my group member and myself. My name is Lalu Raju Bayu Adikenaga. I am I'm as this first speaker and as a moderator, and then Muhammad Furqon as the second speaker, and the last is Kurniawan Abdul Azzam. So I will explain about learning words. The first is vocabulary development in children language. There is when teachers and speech language pathologists talk about vocabulary, they are referring to the set of words that a child knows. And then vocabulary can be split into two types, receptive vocabulary and expressive vocabulary. And then rep a receptive vocabulary consists of the words the child understands when he or she hears or reads them. And the last is a child expressive vocabulary consists of the words the child uses when he or she speaks. And then learning vocabulary. During the first few years of life, as babies begin to say words, it is easy to keep track of their growing vocabularies. And then children typically understand or recognize more words than they actually use when speaking. And for example, a toddler might only say 5 different words like age, dada, mama, dagi, bottle, or more, but be able to understand many others, like pointing to the light when mommy asks, "Where is the light?" or beginning to cry when daddy says bye bye as he leaves for work. Okay, next. Why is vocabulary so important? Vocabulary is the basis for learning language. Educational research show that vocabulary strongly relates to reading, comprehension, intelligence, and general ability. And then as children learn to read, they must learn to decode, print, but they also must have a vocabulary base in order to make sense of what they decode. And last, by third grade, however, children are reading to learn. For example, a child who is reading to learn about revolutionary war needs to know words like war, army, and horses to understand the history lessons. At the same time, however, the child will likely learn new words like weapons and revolution continuing to build his or her vocabulary. So that's all from me. For the next speaker is Muhammad Furqon. For Muhammad Furqon, time is yours.
Now I will continue next slide. Here is how to encourage vocabulary development. Number one is read to your student. Read with them, expose them to plenty of reading materials. Talk to your student about the environment around you. Number two is encourage students to tell about their surroundings. Okay, so the next slide is learning and teaching vocabulary. Number one, learners need acquire a vocabulary learning strategies in order to discover the meaning of new words. The strategies are useful in class and also in out class situation where they encounter new and familiar words. Number two is the student can benefit from how to use contextual clues and glossing the meaning from the content to deal with unfamiliar items. Number three is a vocabulary development should include both direct introduction, teaching the words and their meaning, such as pre-teaching vocabulary items. Number four is indirect introduction, teaching the strategies to help learners figure out the meanings themselves. Okay. Number 5 is young learners. Young learners should be exposed to vocabulary items repeatedly in rich context. We can expect them to learn the item we teach and to remember all in the lesson 2 days later. Thus, a newly taught word should refer many times and in different situations for the following weeks of introduction. The vocabulary item should be revisited or recited in different activities with different skills and for multiple times. And the last is another important competence. Another important component of vocabulary teaching in your learners' classes is the processing, which means working with the information at high cognitive and personal level. Their processing makes it more likely to connection between new words and prior knowledge. Instead of memorizing lists of words and their meaning, personalizing vocabulary lesson greatly helps student deep processing. Okay, that's all from me. Awesome.
Okay, so my name is Kurniawan Azzam. So I will explain about the benefit of learning. The benefit of learning. The first one, of course, that we know. Of course, if we know about the vocabulary, child or the students know about that. So if what is that? If our grammar or yes, if our grammar is good, so it's nothing without uh, vocabulary, because possible that if you want to say something but what we don't know, but we know the pronouns, we know the grammatically to speak, but we don't know what is the thing, what is that the verb that what we will see, right? That's the benefit of vocabulary. And the second one is uh, student or child is more likely the vocabulary learning, is it? Because why? uh, it's so easy, so simple to memorize it. And the next one is, okay, the next one, the children vocab learning strategies. It's so the important thing how to teach the what is that vocabulary, because many people can speak English but they don't know how to teach English. So I will give you that how I learn or how I teach child or the students memorize the vocabulary. The first one, we have to be crazy, and the second one, we have to be enjoyed. Why? Because if we have to be crazy people, so the student or the child that isn't afraid or doubt with us, right? They don't afraid to ask anything, right? Because they know that we are crazy. That is the point for me. This I got from my experience. So it doesn't mean I go away from the material, but I just want to share my experience, right? Uh, how to give strategies. On the theory also, that it's almost same with I said, but they then say that we have to be crazy. That's only. Thank you.